Everyone like, love, share, please. Comment, please.
World's ending, Rob. World is ending. I hung out with Mark on Friday, and it was.
Oh, let's bring this in. Right. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert and Jason of the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. So what are you saying? The world's ending?
Yeah, it was funny. I was hanging out with Mark on Friday. There were a couple of us there for the Properties and Pints.
Mr. Positive?
Oh, yeah. We're super Mr. Positive.
Super positive, yeah.
So, anyway. But he wants to start buying some more industrial, and so I hooked him up with a guy. But anyway, it was a pretty funny conversation. Everyone's freaking out about commercial real estate right now.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and pulled some stats. 4% of commercial real estate is malls, and about another 11% of commercial real estate is apartments. That if you talk to a lot of commercial real estate guys, a lot of them don't consider apartment complex or multifamily commercial,
right.
And I kind of agree with that for a couple of reasons. But then when you look at the CRE space, I'd have to go back and look, but it's only a certain percentage that are in mortgage-backed securities. A lot of them are backed by GSEs, the GSE loans. So they're government-backed, just like your single-family house loan. So
We have to have lunch with that guy.
oh yeah, does he keep emailing us?
No, but we have to remember to have lunch with that guy.
Okay, but anyway,
We've got one
we got one that worked for him.
that qualifies, so let's do it.
So, anyways, interesting watching this whole commercial mortgage, commercial real estate space. There were on. Last week, I got hit on a post on Facebook, over $200 million in 5 apartment complexes that went to the foreclosure auction last week.
Here in Houston.
In Houston.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And I looked at him like, I know these. And I showed it to a buddy of mine, and he was like, Mr. Texas City sent me a text on Friday night. And he was like, yeah, he's like, hey, did you see this? I'm like, yep, here we go. These are the Class A, B deals. In fact, there was one bank that foreclosed on all of them. These are those deals I told you guys the last 5 or 6 years. You bought them at 6 caps or 4.5 caps. You got into a 5-year loan. You're getting pinched by taxes, insurance, higher interest rates, can't refi, don't have enough cash. I got beat. I'm in this landlord group. I got beat out on a deal in Spring Branch, a 44 unit off market. And when I heard who was bidding against me, I'm like, they can have it. Like the number already doesn't make sense. So I don't know what it closed at, but these guys are going to be, they may be sweating bullets already.
Well, a lot of people are, right?
Yeah.
There's one apartment guy in town basically told everyone, don't panic, which means what?
Panic.
Panic. Right. So.
When the banks tell you don't panic, you need to go take all your money out.
Right.
Yeah, don't panic. Who was telling the story? Maybe it was Joe Rogan. Somebody on Rogan's show where they said something to the effect of, hey, would my banker just be honest with me and say, like, would you really tell me if something was wrong? You know, like, hey, is there a problem with this bank? Oh, no, man, everything's great. Well, would you really be honest with me if it weren't? And the answer is, of course not. So there are a lot of these multifamily syndications right now that are going belly up. Our best estimate is 50% are going through capital calls right now. So that doesn't mean they're bad deals. Just they need more cash to operate the deal and need more cash reserves. Well,
everything got expensive, right?
Everything got damn expensive overnight, right? So...
I mean, I can't even get a ditch dug for less than $2,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much?
Yeah.
Like $2,000. I'm like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'll jump in that. I'm ready to go, right?
I have my kids over
there. Say, rally up all the boys. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Dad, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Well, come on, man. This is like we're going to give you the Ukraine experience right now. We're going to dig a trench along the side.
We're digging trenches and just getting killed.
Like
that's all we're really doing.
10 feet by like 3.
2 G's, huh?
2 G's.
Wow.
I'm like, forget it.
Can we use a ditch witch out there?
No, because there's gas lines.
So they won't even let us use a ditch witch.
You can use a hand, like a little, just like it's like a hand hammer.
Yeah.
Just like a little, jackhammer, but it's a hand hammer, and that just peels away the dirt, and then you just shovel the dirt out. It's a 2-man job.
Huh.
Right? 3 if you want to, take a break. Right? One guy to dig it, one guy to shovel it, and the other guy to wheelbarrow it into the pile.
Yeah.
I'm like 3 guys. I'm like, man, you should be able to do this for like in one day. You should be able to get me all this stuff done. And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, whatever, we're good.
Wow. Interesting.
Everything's more expensive. Yep.
Yep. And it's not going to stop.
No.
It's not going to stop. You can jack rates up to 1,000%. It is not going to stop inflation.
So, right. That was the one I wanted to talk to you about. I was thinking about this weekend. So, jobs report came out.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Another great jobs report.
If you're looking for a job, I mean, now's the time, right?
Yep. If your employer is not paying you what you're worth and all that, time to move.
Right. You can
I told a lot of folks in the mastermind and some other people, like, I ran into a guy at actually that event at Pints and Properties and Pints. He's like, hey, I want to do a house hack, but I really can't afford X amount of mortgage. I was like, then make more money.
Yeah, go make more money.
I'm like, dude, now is the time. You can't make more money now.
What are you talking about? I mean, it's just easier said than done. It's like, no, it's not now. Now is the time.
Yeah.
So, and it's happening, right? People are just shifting around, and the guy left without a chair has got to go raise the stakes, right?
Yeah.
Pay a little bit more. I get it.
Okay.
So we, as Americans, have dealt with inflation by just having that two-income household again.
You could argue, one could argue, and this is going to, I have no hope in politics after I say this. One could make the argument that women's suffrage in the workforce, in the workplace, was one of the most inflationary events in the United States. That is, you now have two incomes. It put massive amount of capital back into households to buy more houses, buy more appliances.
Sure.
So now, is that necessarily inflationary? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on where the kind of the cash comes from.
But it allowed easy growth.
Yeah, it was rapid growth.
Yeah.
In fact, if you
could
look
absorb 3% inflation, 3%, 4%.
Yeah, if you look at men's versus women's wage growth by age, by decade, by all that, you could see. I mean, women have obviously are catching up, right? So now you've got more buyers out there. In fact, you guys want to read something real interesting. The next 25 to 50 years in the United States, there's a article out by, I want to say it's the guys over at Wells Fargo, and it's called The Rise of the She-Economy. Mm-hmm. Because it's really women that drive the economy. So read from a consumer standpoint.
Sure.
So read Rise of the She-Economy. It's really interesting. But anyway, it's the economy is going to be dominated by older single
I was going to get
right?
you in trouble. I'm like, he's already in enough trouble, Rob, so you don't even have to.
Yeah, I'm already like, I don't care. But anyway.
I'll get into trouble here because there's a correlation there, right?
Yeah.
And you see a lot of women going more into the workplace in the 70s. You can track it, right?
You can track, and to higher paid occupations.
Definitely higher paid and a lot more in education, women going to college, all that stuff. And then conversely, you can watch the decline of the family.
Well, here's what's interesting about the whole family thing. Greenspan said this. I watched it live. You cannot find it anywhere. It has been erased from the internet. Alan Greenspan was on MSNBC, one of the big money shows. And he said one of the reasons public school has declined over the decades is because women, their highest occupation for decades
was
teaching.
Yeah,
so you had women who could have been astronauts, doctors, business owners who were teachers. Absolutely amazing teachers.
Yep. That was the glass ceiling.
That was their glass ceiling. And then once they broke that, they all left. And so what are you left with?
Yep.
People who really like to teach.
Hey, hang on to that thought. We're gonna go to break here. Robert and Jason with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Boy, I don't know. We got a lot of stuff going on. Just go to our website, mrtxre.com, mrtxre.com. We got the How to Raise Private Capital at the end of the month. We got a 3-day coming up the weekend before that. We got a ton of events here in the next 2 weeks, including the women's group. So make sure you're checking us out. Go to mrtxre.com. Hang tight. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. As always, guys, make sure you check us out for our 3-day. We got a big 3-day coming up. It's MRTXREI. If you're interested in getting involved in real estate investing, if you're interested in extending your portfolio, really working on retiring early or retiring well, you've got to come out to this 3-day class. We always say it, hey, how do you get massive returns on an investment as well as not paying taxes on it? And that's called real estate. So you want to come out to mrtxrei.com. Come on out. We'll show you the secrets of real estate investing.
Yeah. So to go back to the whole, women in the economy and all that. I mean, could you imagine having Catherine as like your math teacher in like middle school? No, it would be
horrible.
It would. It might be.
Yeah.
But it's so that's the decline of kind of education, and then we're seeing a lot of like crazy stuff right now. But in any case, so you got more people working. Now this is going to get the conservatives all fired up. This is why immigration is so important. Not illegal immigration, but we don't have enough bodies for the things that we need to be able to do in the United States.
Yeah,
and we're seeing that in the jobs numbers now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So at some point, we're going to have to start bringing in skilled labor.
Well, it's either going to be anti-immigration or the Luddites, right? Because it's going to be robots doing a lot more things.
Well, and Japan is, it's interesting. Japan, although it is kind of a, quote, dying economy, it's a dying country. They are turning stuff into robots.
They're automating
They are automating
They are going to deal with that. Yep, absolutely.
So we're going to end up buying a lot of that stuff from Japan. But it'll be interesting. One of the guys, so in our Boy Scout circle, one of the dads works with really high-end pension funds. And he said, when you really look at the economy, you're going to end up with three things: educators, engineers, and entertainers. That's it. That's going to be your entire economy.
Yep.
Now, I posted that, and somebody was like, what about plumbers? You can't fix your... No, you don't understand. These will be the three top-tier jobs in the future.
Yeah.
Entertainers, educators, engineers. That's it. Everyone else is going to be kind of subordinate to that in the caste system of employment.
Well, I think a lot of contractors don't realize they're putting their kids, the next generation of contractors, out of business because we're building so well.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
It's like just the progression in pipes. You mentioned a plumber, right? We went from cast iron to copper to PEX, and now from PVC to PEX. And that PEX is, as long as you keep it buried in the walls, it's going to be there forever.
Oh, it'll be there forever.
Right?
It's insane. It's funny because you hear those guys are like, they don't build these houses like they used to. I'm like, you're right. They're better.
They're much better.
I said, now, granted, the wood is better in the older houses, right? The sticks.
Yeah,
but other than that, I'm like, these newer houses are way better.
I have a good friend of mine who's a fire inspector, and his deal is there's no house fires unless it's arson.
That's right, yeah.
He's like, the majority of them is just people lighting stuff on fire or candles or cigarettes.
Well, look at what Underwriter Laboratories did just with like home furnishings.
Yeah.
Like you could pass out with a cigar in your face and your couch won't catch on fire. Like back in the 70s, it killed people, right? And it just...
Your Christmas tree was killing people.
Yeah, your Christmas tree was killing people,
Your Halloween costume was killing kids, right?
And now we got to worry about other stuff killing us. But anyway, so anyways, go back to the inflation debate. That's why I keep saying, I'm like, this stuff ain't going to get any cheaper, guys.
No. So we went back to work, is my point.
Yes.
Right? So I'm interested to see how many jobs per household, if it's... if there's a segment of the population that has multiple jobs, right?
There is, and they track it. And I can't, I'd have to go back and look. But, you get these...
From COVID out, right?
Yeah.
And so my point is this. Who cares?
Yeah.
Why can't we just say this is the new base? Stop comparing it to pre-COVID.
Well, COVID changed everything. And I don't think... Like, I'll tell you right now, I was listening to Logan this morning. I'm like, I got to, what's Logan saying? I'll catch Mike on the way home tonight. And I was listening to him, and he's like, look, here's our biggest concern. In fact, he wrote what's called the Great American Recovery Model 3 years ago in the middle of COVID. And everybody said he was crazy. He's like, I'm not. I could see it. Like, it's going to get really expensive. And he was one of the first guys I found during COVID that was actually rational. But when you go back and look at this model... he doesn't believe in the low interest rates are keeping people in their homes. He said it's an entirely different housing market starting in 2010.
Yeah.
Starting in 2010, people stayed much longer in their homes. Like you could see this weird transition. Yeah. So now, are there some that are like, I'm not moving until I get a low rate? Yeah, there's that out there. But by and large, his big concern is rates move a little bit lower. We don't get the inventory, and all of a sudden, we're already at 50% inventory compared to 2019. Mm-hmm. So that's why I keep telling everybody, especially guys in our mastermind, do not screw around. Buy. Don't wait. You have got to buy right now because we've got so much pent up demand. This looks like COVID did. And I said this on the radio. You guys can go all the way back. Our shows are available on anywhere podcasts are heard. You can go back to YouTube. In fact, you can go back to my Right Path show starting in 2016. And one of the things I said is Americans do not wait very long. So when we shut down for COVID in March 2020, I said, get ready, guys. It's going to kick off a buying phase. No, you don't know what you're talking about. What happened? We went up 40% in 2 years on average, 40%. That's going to happen again. There is a ton of pent-up demand out there.
Right. And a lot more employment. So you're going to be able to qualify for those mortgages.
Yeah, a lot more bodies out there.
Yeah. There's more W-2 to put on the application. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's my point is forget anything prior to 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is the new norm.
This is the new...
Hamburgers are $2.79. What used to be, $1.99. So be it. That's what the price of a hamburger is.
Yep.
Right? Cars $60,000 instead of being $40,000. That's the price now.
Yep. That's the new price.
Right. Stop. And so what's happening in the marketplace, especially in the stock market, is we have wild swings because analysts are still comparing stuff to pre-COVID.
Yeah, and that ain't coming back.
Right. It's like, well, I don't know if we can sustain these levels. Clearly we can. We're just getting more jobs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
We're working longer. I'm not retiring. I got another 5 years now, right? So we're going to make more money.
Yeah.
That's how Americans are going to deal with it. Oh, okay, prices went up. I whine and moan for 3 months, and then I go fix it.
Well, prices going up are also a function of the labor market. So the labor market will catch up.
Yep.
And there will be people that just get left behind. It's unfortunate, but you've got to be in industries and own assets that are inflation adjusted.
So here's the problem, and I'm going to speak from the Democratic side of view, going to politics now, switching gears. They need to own it.
Oh, yeah.
They need to say, this is the greatest economy ever. Look how great our unemployment is.
Yeah.
And own it instead of being everyone scared about inflation, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is a motivation from the left to basically force more reliance on the government. I become that sort of lefty conspiracist now, where it's like, this woman doesn't want change in this district.
Oh, I see.
She just wants to keep people in that district voting for her.
I don't think there's.
Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't own it and just say, look how great this economy is.
Well, because no one wants to own anything, because that actually requires putting your neck on the line, and nobody's willing to do that anymore. So I think it's more of like the Federal Reserve is a great example. They still think they can fix this thing, and it's like, you can't.
No.
You can't.
I mean,
and they know that.
And you know what? Hey, man, if we got interest rates in the low fives, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not messing with anything anymore. Yeah. Unemployment's great. People can buy houses again. We're out of this. Yep.
Let the market, and you're seeing all the turmoil right now in the banking sector, and everybody's freaking out. And I'm like, hey, libertarian bro, you wanted rate. Well, the rates are too low. Rates are too low. And of course, these guys don't have any. My favorite is, what rate is a good rate? Oh, I don't know, but they're too low.
Yeah.
Well, now you got your rates jacked up, and your bank is gone on.
Chinese are killing us, and their dollar's too low.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now.
Well, now we actually have. You know what the real problem is?
It's a strong dollar.
Here's the dollar is way too strong.
Yes.
I don't think you guys realize that this whole stuff going on with the China pact and all that other stuff and the reliance on the change from the dollar has more to do with the dollar being way too strong than it does Joe Biden.
Hang on, guys. We'll be back after this message. I get it? Yeah, you bring it.
Welcome back. Robert Orfino, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. So I say bring Trump back because it was great before.
He's going to come back and take credit for it.
Oh, of course.
This is my economy.
He said, look, I just, I'm already here.
I'm going to tell you
as soon as I announced, it started getting better.
My God, you have to watch that cold open.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I don't know who that guy was.
Yeah.
But he was the best trumpet person I've ever seen. He doesn't look like him.
Yeah.
He's too thin, and they don't
punch him up a little bit.
No, but man, he's just shifting and moving so well.
My brother posted this meme on Facebook, and it said something like, Trump's like 6'4" and 270, and he's like, "Congratulations, Trump! You finally got 270, right?" And then I was like, then I almost posted, Trump hadn't been 270 since his 30s. I'm like, he's a big dude. But anyway, so
Democrats robbed them.
Yeah, It's so funny. This is all gonna turn into election nonsense, and it's like, man, that's not really the problem here. The problem is more, how do we produce more skilled labor in the United States to meet the demands that we've got here? And no one's going to talk about that. So it's just fine. It's going to be typical idiotic stuff. And, you know.
So I don't know if you saw it, and I just skimmed it. So I'm probably wildly incorrect. But Ron DeSantis just got outsmarted by Bob Iger.
Oh, did they win that thing?
They can't do anything about it until it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. It'll be tied up for 5 to 7 years, right?
Yeah, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. So if I understand the case,
yes.
that Disney, the state of Florida, does not have the right to revoke Disney's special tax exempt status until 25 years after the last
development.
No, it was after the last. I thought it was the King. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up.
Right. It is the King's Law, yes.
It was the King's Law, so it was after the last reigning heir of King James III or something like that. I'm reading it. I'm like, this is crazy.
Right.
But they already said, like, this is ridiculous, and we're going to have to go to the Supreme Court to get it sorted
right,
out.
but that'll be another 5 years, right?
Yeah.
There's no one's going to expedite that.
No, it would be entertaining, though.
It is.
Hold on, let me pull it up here.
So they got him. They signed with a development deal for another however many years that basically thwarts, DeSantis bullies coming in. And I'm like, yeah. Guess what? It's clearly where the brains go. They go to business, right?
Yeah. Okay, let me see if they've got it in here.
Now, of course, again, it's going to get overturned. It's going to be a big thing, but it just drags it out another 6 or 7 years until hopefully he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, you're gone, Governor? That's great. Well, guess what? We got a Democratic guy in now, and now we can do that, right?
Okay, sorry, it's King Charles III. The legal framework, they believe, hands Disney total power over development in the area. It states the declaration shall continue in effect until 21 years after the death of the last survivor of the descendants of King James III, King of England, living as a date of this declaration. The British monarch currently on state to visit. Okay, who cares about that? In any case, there was something written into the law, I don't know, 100 years ago when Disney got started that for this particular development project. So they pulled this out of nowhere, and I think it's hilarious, actually.
Awesome.
I'm like, they have some of the best lawyers on the planet. So I think it's going to be an awesome case. It is going to be really interesting to see. But like you said, it's going to take 5 years before they litigate this thing.
So if you're reading between the lines, Iger did his quarterly update.
Yeah.
And said, I'd like to speak about this real quick, if you don't mind. Yeah. Like it was off script. Mm-hmm. Oh, Bob's going off script.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do anything off script. That's why they brought him back. He doesn't do anything off script.
And he's like, we're about to invest $17 billion into Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're sitting there and just basically getting reprimanded for corporate free speech.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't like the law, and we voiced our opinion that we didn't like the law. Now, we could have handled it better, but we spoke out about that.
Yeah.
Because our majority of our employees were against it.
Yeah.
So, in retribution for that, this is what happened. And he's like, this is, Florida's a great place to do business, but if this is how business is going to be done in Florida, we've got some concerns.
Yeah.
And, hey, so he's saying, I'm going to put $17 million on the table, but it ain't moving off the table until we have a little conversation, boys.
Yeah.
And they will run with that, in a year and a half for election day.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, it's just stopping growth, right? Just anti-Republican, right? Stopping businesses.
Well, I would have handled that whole thing differently. It's like, hey, I get it, concerned citizens. Why are you bringing this to me? If you have a problem with Disney, don't go to Disney.
Yeah.
Don't spend your money at the movies. Don't why does a governor have to get involved in this nonsense?
Right. At that level.
I'm like,
really, and so it looks very petty.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so it's like, we want another one of these guys, right?
Well, it's the typical stupid fire up the base nonsense, which is like, why are you wasting your time with this?
Oh, it was 3, ultra right wing guys who pushed this thing through and forced the governor to agree.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm like, just wasting your time with this silly stuff.
So I'm like, well, I guess Iger should run. Clearly, he's a better politician. It's like, hey, well, there you go. We got our whack job running.
Who's that?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Is he really?
Yep, announced it.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. He's an anti-vaxxer, conspiracy guy.
You need to read. Well, you need to read.
Socialist. Like,
I
really
will tell you
out
right
there.
now, Robert Kennedy's book on Fauci is incredible.
He's not a dumb guy either, right?
He's not. You read through that and you're like, holy cow, it's good.
Yeah.
And I don't care left, right, it doesn't matter. Even Tucker Carlson was like, all right, this is pretty good. Like it's a good book. And it's scary as all get out. But no, it's great.
Announced he's running. I'm like, good for that.
Perfect.
I like, who knew we had that guy in the I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
Like someone's looking around down and I once got demoted because I was working, I won't say where, at a general manager. And he said, well, we're just going to have to put that on the back burner. And I said, where is that back burner?
Is that back
There's
burner
a lot of things back there.
Yeah.
I got demoted for that.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, it's like the Democratic back burner is like, who do we got back here? I don't know. Let's see who we got.
Are we going to bring the burn? Are we going to bring the burn back out?
Maybe.
There was a really interesting article.
No, that's why he's running.
Oh, okay.
This is the guy who's going to pick up all the Bernie support.
Gotcha.
Yep, for sure.
I read a real interesting analysis that basically said if Bernie ran, Hillary would have lost. He probably would have won over Trump.
Yeah.
It was really interesting kind of analysis. But which then you go back to Operation Chaos, which Rush Limbaugh was running. So everybody, all these unregistered Democrats who are Republicans in primary states were going in and voting for Hillary. I remember when I read the article, I was like, I remember all that. And anyways, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, well, I guess Joe hasn't decided if he's going to run yet. God, I was watching him walk. He's got that like Alzheimer's shuffle thing. I'm like, somebody just needs to, you're not running, dude. You're not running again. You can't. You ain't going to make it.
Bobby Jr. Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
Great.
What I'm excited about? Yeah. He's a smart guy.
He's real sharp.
I'm like, I like smart guys.
Yeah, he's a sharp guy.
So,
but I just told everybody on the Republican ticket with Trump's nonsense that's going to be going on for 9 months now, like, don't even bother running. He showed up at UFC this weekend, and the whole place went nuts. Him, Mike Tyson, and Kid Rock. There's a trio for you, right?
Nice.
Just walked into UFC, sat down next to Dana White. The whole place went nuts.
He doesn't need to run for president for that. He's just, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
What it'll be? It'll be a great distraction from our real problems.
That's right. So. Inflation.
Yeah, inflation.
Your real problems, which is you're too lazy to go out and go buy some real estate. Oh.
Too scared.
Jason, I'm doing this for my family. I'm like, well, how come you haven't bought anything yet? You must not love your family very much. Oh, that gets them every time.
All right, hang tight, guys. We're going to come back. Make sure you go check out our website, MRTXREI. That's for our 3-day, MRTXRE.com. Go check out all the events we have coming up. Hang tight. We'll be back.
Welcome back. Robert Orfino, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. Do we say home of the Texas Portfolio Builders Club?
That's coming soon.
It's coming into the month, right? 26, I think.
We might have to push it to...
Oh, to April?
Yeah.
Well?
May.
Oh, to May.
It's hard to promote everything.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to bring the wholesale and flip group back.
That we're definitely doing.
So if you guys remember before COVID, I used to host an event during the day over at Second Cup, which actually moved. They just moved locations, but it's right there in the Heights.
I have a coffee maker. You can do it right in the room.
We can. We'll figure something out. Everybody always wants to go somewhere, so we will figure out a location. But yeah, it's just for wholesalers and flippers, and we'll talk about deals and all that.
I am 7 electric panels away from getting the work done here at the building.
Oh, because they got to be there in line, huh?
But I got I have another electrician moving in to backfill some of the work. I'm like, oh man, we just finish this up, and then I have him go and put our sink in, our cabinet in, and run a water line into the conference room.
Oh, okay.
So that we can fill up the coffee maker back there.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, all good.
So,
let me see.
How long is it? Do you have the same charger at the beach house as you do at your personal house?
No, I don't.
Okay.
The one at my personal house is it's a 48 amp.
Okay.
It's actually on a 60 amp breaker, but it's
So it's got its own It's got its own breaker. Okay.
It does, and then the one at the beach house is a 24 amp.
Okay.
But And that's running on a 30 amp breaker.
Okay.
So, better bring it up. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure my Tesla got struck by lightning.
You think so with that lightning storm?
Yeah.
What did it do anything goofy when you
fried
started?
the electric charging computer, the ECU. Yep.
Huh. But it's still charging, right?
No. So we're leaving the island.
Yeah.
Right. And I say to Travis, I say, hey, I didn't have lunch. Do you have lunch? I know you didn't have breakfast. He's like, nah, let's go do lunch. So we go to lunch. We go to Jersey Mike's, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's a charger right there. So I put it in. And I'm looking at my phone. And I'm like, this isn't charging. And it's raining.
Yeah.
I run out and look at it. I'm like, oh, no, not good.
Yeah.
Exactly what I thought happened at 3 o'clock in the morning is what's happening right now. The house got struck or the car got struck or there was a surge because it blew out my router and my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Then I remember there is a Tesla place in Corpus.
Oh, so you just dropped by there?
I drove it right there. I walk in at like 4:18. They all give me dirty looks because it's Good Friday.
Oh, yeah.
They all want to go home,
early.
right?
Yeah.
Here comes this guy with a problem. And I'm like, man, the thing isn't charging, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, give me the card. So they take it around. But she was really super nice. They said, listen, when are you coming back to Corpus? I said, the earliest I can be back is Thursday. She said, okay, I'll give you a loaner.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, can I get an S? She's like, I don't have any S's, but I have an X. I'm like, oh, that'd be great.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So anyway, so she's working out her thing, and they're coming back, and they're like, hey, we're trying to figure this out. And they're like, oh, there it is. We know what it is. We actually have the chip. We're going to go ahead and replace it. And by 4:50, I was out the door.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Very amazing service. For sure. Like, absolutely perfect.
You're like, nah, I don't need mine back. Give me that X.
So I was like, nah, I'm good. She's the extra 3. I was actually tempted to take the 3, but that was scary.
Yeah.
That was very scary. I'm like, interesting. So Cybertruck's looking real good. Probably do 200,000 units next year. Mm-hmm. With maybe a handful, 25, 40,000 this year. So I think we're going to get our cars.
I think we'll get 2.
Yeah.
At least by this time next year, I think we might have all 3.
I'll sell the spot in line right now.
I'll sell my spot. I'll take the last one. I got 2 on order. I'll take the later one.
Yep.
But it ain't gonna be.
You might
cheap.
get yours. We might have one available to us this year.
Yeah.
This year. So a lot of speculation. He put out the master plan, the secret master plan again. That little $25,000 car is going to be.
Yeah.
They're going to cast the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Like a Hot Wheel.
Huh. That's cool.
And then put it together from there. So we're looking forward to that. What else going on? Oh, so Dungeons & Dragons, the movie?
Yeah.
It was perfect. It wasn't, there's no Academy Awards, right? But it's something that was like, hey, I think I would watch that many times.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm okay with that. And it was a little tearjerker. They hit the right spots. I was like, boy, this feels like a Pixar movie.
Oh,
live action Pixar.
Yeah.
They have the family, and they got to save the family, and there's this and that. I don't want to know the spoilers, and then there's all this action. Very, very good. I'm looking for the second one. This is, I could go for it. I'm like very, very happy. And everything from the books. A couple little things here and there off, no big deal, but everything. If you're D&D guys, the Displacer Beast and the Gelatinous Cube, Black Dragon. I mean, it was all right there. Everything was right there. Like, this is perfect. So we went to the place where we ate and did that, and that was all good.
Yeah, it was soccer all weekend. All weekend.
Nice. I made a really nice burger on Saturday night.
Oh, there you go. Did pork butt. We did more pork butt. Best pork butt so far we've made. So it was good. It was good. But yeah, Cameron won 2 games, lost 1. They had a game that went. They won 2-0, and it got wild. They red carded 3 players.
Oh, really? On their side?
On the other team, and then coach kept jawboning. He goes over, red cards the coach. And
bunch of hooligans.
And then the coach like chest bumps the ref. The ref falls over. He calls the game right there 10 minutes early. He's like, you guys are done. Get out of here. And
was it a tournament?
Yeah, it was a tournament.
Oh, that's nice.
So it was the last game of the tournament for the playoffs. These guys get thrown out. It was awesome. So the coach on our side was like, guys, because we could tell by about halftime, we're like, guys, just don't do anything stupid. Don't get all emotional. Start sliding into these guys. Just let them keep screwing up. And they went freaking ballistic. It was crazy. I had never seen a game like that. Well, I hadn't seen one in a while like that, but it was wild. So I was waiting for the parents to start getting mouthy, but jumped in the car and got out of there quick. So
I take it you're not caught up on Ted Lasso yet.
I'm in episode 3, I think.
Oh yeah, hurry up with the 4th one.
I'm in. Trying to think what just happened. So
I'm not gonna ruin it for you.
They just lost to Nate.
Oh yeah, so you're caught up.
Yeah. Okay.
That was soul sucking.
Yeah.
That was soul sucking. Yeah. So that's be interesting to see what happens this week.
My favorite part, the lesson there is this guy has burned everything down, and even the win he can't enjoy.
Right.
That's really what they're showing you there.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yep. It's not even getting there. Yep. And Ted's head's not in the game.
No, it's not.
So here's the thing. Did you watch the very, very end? He does the Skype call with her.
Yes.
Right?
And I saw that.
And then she smiles.
Yeah.
Because it's probably the first time he's ever not been toxic positivity. He stood up and said something he didn't like, right?
Yeah.
So I think she saw the improvement there. So
interesting.
And then he did the same. If you notice, he did the same thing with Roy in the 2nd episode when he pulled him in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but it was not.
Cut this out.
Yeah, it wasn't not really positive. He did the little Hallmark Christmas thing, but
yeah.
So anyway, if you have, we spoiled the season if you haven't watched it yet. So too bad.
Well, you'll watch it.
You'll get up. Yeah,
it'll still be worth it.
So I'm pretty excited. I got to take this so you can finish up.
All right, so what do we got coming up this month? So we're doing our money class, raise2invest.com, raise2invest.com. If you want to learn how to raise capital like we do, especially those of y'all in commercial, it's about to get real dicey out there. And what do I mean? So if you're watching all this stuff with the banks, a lot of local banks are the ones that will fund your deals, and they're going through some real challenges right now. So one of the things that causes reduction in values is the lack of financing. We just saw $200 million in apartment complex go to foreclosure last week. So there are deals out there. In fact, we're looking at them every single day. But deals will be plentiful when money is scarce. And so this class will be critical on how to raise money. It's raise2invest.com, raise2invest.com. All right, guys, Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with a short message.